Okay, so we're going to do a little review here for your test next class. So the first one is asking you to find the sine of A, cosine of A, and tangent of A. Given the following information, that side A is 12 and side C is 13. So go ahead and pause the video and work through it and then hit play to see the answer. Okay, so we sketch our right triangle. Remember, C is always the right angle. Then it doesn't matter where you put the capital letters A and B, but lowercase a has to be directly across from it, so that's why I put the 12 there. C has to be across from angle C, so that's for the 13, and then we have to find B. So we use our Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It gives us b is 5. And then now that we have all the sides, we're going to start at the angle and see how the sides relate. So 12 is across from it, so that's the opposite side. 5 is the leg that's next to it, so that's the adjacent. And 13 is the hypotenuse. So now our sine for angle A is opposite over hypotenuse, so 12 over 13. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 5 over 13. And tangent is opposite over adjacent, so 12 over 5. Okay, here's our next one. You're solving the right triangle, so you're going to be using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so again, we sketch our right triangle. Label the capital letters for angle. I put the 35 inside the triangle for angle A, and then side B went across from angle B. So in following the steps, we said if you're given either A or B, find the other one by subtracting it from 90. So 90 minus 35 gives us angle B to be 55. Then we said in finding the sides, just go alphabetically. So I circled A because that's the side I'm trying to find. I circled my two given pieces of information. Then starting at the angle, side A is opposite of the angle, 12 is adjacent, so O and A is our tangent function. And then with the variables on top, we're going to multiply 12 times the tangent of 35. We get a decimal of 8.4, but we can round to 8. And now that we have the second side, just use the Pythagorean theorem. So 8 squared plus 12 squared equals our c squared. When we solve through, we get an answer of 14. Okay, let's go ahead and try our next one. Okay, so again, let's sketch the right triangle, the same as we've done the previous two. If you said we were given two sides, first thing we should find is the third side using the Pythagorean theorem. So our a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It gives us an answer of 13. Then we said if you're not given either of the angles, to go ahead and find angle A first. So I circled it, circled the two sides that were given, and then start at the angle. 11 is the opposite side of that angle. 17 is the hypotenuse, so O and H is the sine function. So it's the sine of angle A equals the opposite side 11 over the hypotenuse of 17. We said when you're looking for the angle, you hit the second key, followed by sine, divide the fraction, it gives us 40.3. And then once you have one of the angles, we said just subtract it from 90 to get the other, so B would be 49.7. Okay, next one is a word problem, so go ahead and give that a shot. Okay, so we sketch a right triangle. It says a point 150 from the base of the tree. So the base means the bottom, so we're going to put 150 at the bottom of the triangle. Angle of elevation is 42. We said depression elevation always goes in the bottom corner. And then we're trying to find the height, so that's the vertical side. So starting at the angle, x is opposite of the angle, the 150 is adjacent. So O and A is our tangent function. So it's the tan of the angle 42 equals the opposite side x over the adjacent 150. Since the variable's on top, you multiply. So we get an answer of 135. Okay, last one we'll take a look at is our non-right triangles. So go ahead, make your sketch and solve. Okay, so this time we're just sketching just a regular old triangle, but again, the capital letters are the angles, and you label those outside. So I said go ahead, once you have the capital letters, go ahead and fill in your values. So angle A is 110, angle C is 30, and then we're given side C, which is directly across from it. So we'll label the 3 there. And we said on these, we can't use our Pythagorean theorem or anything, but we said if you're already given two angles of the triangle, find the third by subtracting the two angles from 180. So it gave us B is 40, so we said to go ahead and label that on your picture. Then we're going to have to use the law of sines to find both sides. So we said you're going to look at your A's, the B's, and C's and look for the pair where you have both the angle value and the side value given to you. And we can see we have that with the C's. So we're going to use the C's each time we set up our proportion. So I chose to find side A first. So I'm using the C, so it's the sine of angle C, which is 30, over its opposite side of 3, equals, and since I'm trying to find side A, I have to use angle A, so it's going to be the sine of 110 over A. And then I wrote out the steps, but we cross multiply 3 times the sine of 110, hit enter to get that answer, and then divide the answer by sine of 30, and we get side A to be 5.6. And then lastly, we need to find side B, and again, you cannot use the Pythagorean theorem because it's not a right triangle. So I still used the C, so the sine of 30 over 3 equals, since I'm finding side B, I have to use angle B, so the sine of 40 over B. When we cross multiply, it's 3 times the sine of 40, hit enter, and divide by the sine of 30, and we get B to be 3.9. Okay, so the rest of the class time then can be for you to work on your review worksheet. And then next class we'll go over it. We'll have some time to answer some questions before we take the test. Good luck.